Hello and welcome to another edition of your authoritative current affairs television program that brings Ghana's ports and maritime industry closer to you. It is proudly brought to you by the Ghana Revenue Authority, GOIL PLC, Serene Insurance, Ghana Link, Meridian Port Services, and Phoenix Insurance. Our Port is powered by the Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority, and our media partner is the Business and Financial Times. Viewers, this week we touched on the proposed import restriction bill that has been suspended for the time being. This law, if approved by Parliament, will see the ban on some selected strategic items like rice, poultry, and fish. This has received some pushback from some trade groups, such as the Ghana Union of Traders Association and the Food and Beverages Association of Ghana. We sat with them to hear their grievances. Here's an excerpt.
Since you are online, let me begin with you and find out from you what your initial reaction was when you heard that government had decided to, as it were, suspend the LI that would have, made us, have this import restriction bill come into effect.
Well, I'll thank you. Good question. I would say that my immediate reaction was that this is very good news, or for that matter, victory to the common man. It is victory to that teacher, victory to that laborer, victory to the mason, victory to the one the politician called the grassroots person. Because clearly, if this particular LI was passed, it is the grassroots that would have been seriously affected by the rise in prices of goods as a result of the monopoly that would have been created by the LI. So it was a serious victory for the ordinary Ghanaian, because clearly when we rose up, myself and my colleague, Dr. Obin, vigorously fighting on this, it was not from a selfish point of view. It was for the common man, because we are on the ground daily. We interact with them. We interact with the maid. We interact with the driver. We interact with that orphan, and with that we interact with those widows. We interact with the ordinary people who struggle daily to find even just one meal. And we look at the prices of goods in the market. A box of local chicken of about 10 kilos being about 1,300 cedis, and the imported one being about 360. Whichever be the case, none is cheap, considering the level of incomes of the ordinary Ghanaian. This LI was never meant to serve the interest of any Ghanaian, and will never serve the interest of any Ghanaian, because law trying to circumvent the natural workings of the invisible hand of the market has never worked to the best interest of the ordinary person. It has always worked to the interest of the modeler, the one who models such program, because it leads to a lot of corruption and rent seeking. So, Kennedy, let me say my initial comments is that this was just victory for every Ghanaian who cares to be aware of the intricacies of this LI and the repercussions that it would have bred if it came on board.
Now, coming from your position, someone would say you are not patriotic enough because the reasons allocated for the establishment of this restrictions bill or this LI to restrict imports is that, yes, we want to, first of all, bolster the national currency, that's the Ghana cedi, get it stabilized, and then two, to also improve the growth of industries in our country. Is that not a good reason enough?
Number one, the Ghana cedi to get stabilized. When the MPP took office in 2017, and then the cedi stabilized, was it LI that was in place when the cedi was stabilized, and the vice president said they had locked the cedi and then taken the key away? Was it the LI that was in place? No. This has nothing to do with patriotism. We have rather been very, very seriously patriotic in this fight. We have laid let me say literally, our comfort, our convenience. Dr. Obey, myself, and many others who join us have been seriously inconvenienced in bringing to fore the repercussions that this LI would have created. Kennedy, when you go into the Ghanaian market to buy anything, you don't go looking for foreign goods, Kennedy. If you go to buy rice, you go in looking for what your money can buy. When you go in to buy maybe electrical cables, in case you are putting up a project, you go in to buy what your money can buy. If you want to buy chicken or fish, you go into what your money can buy. So you don't go deliberately saying that, oh, well, I am looking for imported chicken, so that is what I have to buy. No, it is what your money can afford. And so for me, patriotism should rather come from the leaders. The patriotism should come from the leaders by sacrificing for the benefit of the ordinary person, laying the right foundation so that clearly the ordinary person can go naturally to buy what the local products are. As we are about to celebrate Christmas, Kennedy, a 1 kilo of local chicken or 1.2 kilo of local chicken on the average is about 130 cedis. How much do you earn, Kennedy? How many local chicken can you buy for your family? So if you go into the market to buy for this Christmas, you are going to buy what your money can afford, not what you are looking for local chicken. And again, if the local chicken was cheaper, everybody will buy it. No LI will force anybody to go and buy imported one, because clearly the taste between the imported one and the local one, there's no dispute about it. The local one tastes far better than the imported one. Then when you look at many of the other products, the local one, of course, if well cured, corn, rice, if well cured, will also serve the same purpose as the imported one. So we, myself, Dr. Obi, and many of our colleagues who join us all over, Kennedy, have really fought for you, the media. We have fought for your mother. We have fought for your father. We have fought for your brothers and your sisters. And that is real patriotism, rather than to have allowed this LI to come into place. And then you now allow people, business people now have to queue and go to the office of the minister. And the minister looks into your face and says, no, you are NDC, you won't get it. You are MPP, but I don't like your face, so you will not get it. And then they will now begin to sell it.
Right. Okay. So please stay with us, Rev John Aidoo, who is the executive chairman of the Food and Beverages Association of Ghana. You still stick with us. Let me come in studio and find out from Dr. Obing again what your initial reaction was when you heard that government had decided to suspend the import restriction bill.
We have been there before, where poultry products were restricted. The aim was to make sure that we reduce importation of those poultry products so that we shore up production of same.
Yes.
Did it happen? It didn't happen. Since 2013 that we restricted importation of poultry and all that. Because that is not the panacea. That is not the solution. And so all the things that they were talking about, the LI and all that, were just to punish us. And we are not ready to submit ourselves or subject ourselves to any license or permit or otherwise in the era of trade liberalization. It won't happen.
Right.
That's why we said that if we think that we are self-sufficient, because we want to be self-sufficient, but what is the measures that we are putting in place so that we become self-sufficient?
Right.
We refer Nigeria, that Nigeria were able to do that in the case of rice and all that. But Nigeria, before they took that decision, they have domestic production of rice of about 85%.
Right.
So they were almost there.
Which is not the same situation as us.
Okay, you are a journalist. Do you have the figures that I don't have? So if you don't have the basis to do it, why do you do it in the first place? But why don't you put our concentration on how to enhance local productivity by creating the enabling environment, by reducing taxation? We all know that we have to industrialize, but we do not have to overprice the produce of our industries. I hope you know that. Let me give you an example. If there's Liver Brothers is here,
yes.
I hope you know that. And then they have some also in Nigeria.
Right.
And then they do not buy, they do not produce here. Because first, you know, they produce most of the items. Now, those that are produced in Nigeria is what they bring here to sell. Have we asked ourselves, why is it that the same company, one is here, one is in another country, That's the question that we have to find out and find solution. There was a factory in Tema, Avinash Industries. You know,
I know
Avinash.
Yes.
You know, it's not functioning well, and they were supposed to produce edible oil. We visited their facility, and they told us that they have their competitor in Togo, which also produce oil, and that Ghanaians buy that one because of cost effectiveness. Nothing. It's not that they do not produce quality or what, but producing here is far higher.
All right, Doc. So there are those who have the school of thought that Ghana cannot get onto the path or trajectory of growth, development, and progress if we don't take such drastic measures. Don't you agree?
And so we don't have any problem. Under trade liberalization, we are not going to submit ourselves to any permit, and that they should get it clear. So if they think that we are self-sufficient in some product, and then they want to ban it, they should ban it. I hope you understand. It's also restriction, isn't it? So if they think, because I think we don't even have the threshold to determine what item qualifies under restriction. Is it that when we have attained 60% of local capacity of production of the volumes that we demand? We don't even have the threshold. So you are doing it out of emptiness. Is it 40% attainment of self-sufficiency, 50%, or what? So there's no basis. There's nothing. There's no foundation. And so that's why we are saying that, okay, if you give the threshold and say that, okay, when we attain, we do our best, we put the measures, done everything, and we attain about 60%, then you should know that we are going to ban the product. We don't have problem. But when you bring permit under trade liberalization era, we are not going to allow. Where we have to go and queue for licenses, where somebody have to give us a quota for what we have to bring, and his discretion sometimes. And then you remember that the trade minister said that when you come and you do not get the permit, you can go to court. Did you hear that? So I'm going to court because I want to import the goods that I'm selling to support the economy. One thing that we do not even recognize that we, the same importers, the traders, we are the people who migrate into manufacturing. I'm telling you, because we trade and know the volumes, and then we migrate into manufacturing. It's not, excuse me to say, the politicians or the lawyers and all that. People who do manufacturing are as a result of trading and knowing the volumes, knowing, understanding, going to first nose machines and all that. So whatever thing that we are doing, we are also very integral part of it. But this particular one, you couldn't have it couldn't have gone through because the bases were not there. Exactly. That's why I was not surprised when they eventually removed it.
So Guta and Fabak believe that Ghana is not ready for import restriction, and government must concentrate first on creating an enabling environment for local industries to compete, especially by reducing the cost of doing business. Now let us hear from you on some of your comments you've shared with us on the subject we have just discussed after we go on break, and then we'll be back with more news. Stay tuned. Hello, I import. Very crucial discussion there. I am all for promoting local production, but I agree with Dr. Obeng. We have to prepare, set in place enough production capacity and incentives that will make local products so cheap that consumers will not opt for imported alternatives. My name is Kwamena from Saltpond. Yes, Ghana should adequately prepare before passing laws like this, because the stakes are high when we do these things. Traders and consumers will suffer. This is Abuajen Swame. For me, I support government. The earlier the better. Shall we continue to disenfranchise well-intended local companies and empower foreigners? Ban all imports and empower made in Ghana. This is Ajay in Accra.
Ohima, no be me taking number first.
But you tell me say take the number give me.
Guys, now I'm tired. I'll go on a date with whoever gets here first.
Princess, really?
Okay, I dey come.
Shut up!
Mame, feel me talk mama wati.
That's it.
Boss,
fill my tank with Super XP Ron 95.
Fill up with Super XP Ron 95 and Diesel XP high performance products from Goyle.
Sorry, Tony got hit first, so I'm stepping with him.
Oh, cut him.
Hey, go for mommy.
Choose Super XP Ron 95 and Diesel XP for an energizing driving experience. Always go for Goyle Super XP Ron 95. Goyle, good energy.
Goyle is good energy. Electricity, pay your taxes. Yeah, our taxes, our future.
Because you see, without our taxes, we wouldn't have good roads, good schools, better hospitals, street lights, and other very important social amenities. When we pay our taxes, we give our children free and quality education. Talga, my money too small. Why should I pay my tax? Look, small. Salifo, it doesn't matter how small or big your business or income is, you still have to pay your taxes. The little taxes from each and every one of us, when put together, could give your community clean water or that deprived school with tables and chairs. Please pay your taxes. It is your responsibility. It is your civic duty. It is the law.
Impressive factory. If only I had listened to you, I wouldn't have been in this mess. That devastating fire virtually wiped out the whole factory and my warehouse.
Remember my misfortunes last year? Serene Insurance Asset All Risk Fire policy that I took were there to pay for my damaged stocks in the warehouse, and my machines that were affected by the floods have been replaced. My accident vehicle is back on the road thanks to Serene Insurance motor policy. Currently, my goods are on the high seas covered with their marine cargo insurance policy. I was just telling Ajima about Serene Insurance. Oh, Ajima, tell him more.
As a road contractor, I make sure I do my contractors all risk insurance for the projects and then workers' compensation for all the workers on site. With Serene Insurance, they will make sure they will cover your unknown tomorrow today.
Serene Insurance, a new face of insurance. Call us now.
MPS Terminal 3 is Africa's new state-of-the-art container terminal at Tema Port. For manufacturers, agro-processors and traders, the new port means business can be done faster. This infrastructure boost will improve Ghana's port handling capacity, connect more trading routes, and oil the engine of growth for the economy, creating greater opportunities across all sectors as Africa's markets merge and become the largest trading bloc globally. MPS, we connect, you thrive.
Business and life can be like the sea sometimes. Sometimes serene, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent, and at times it brings the unexpected. However it is like, trust Phoenix Insurance for your home, car, business, and marine insurance needs. Call 0302-246-319 or 0243-690-492.
At Phoenix, you experience a delightful service delivered with wisdom.
Welcome back. Now let us hear a few other news from our local port and maritime sector. As part of efforts to combat climate change, government has launched Ghana's electric vehicle policy at the ongoing COP28 in Dubai in the United Arab Emirates. The policy, which was launched by President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, details strategies Ghana is taking to encourage the importation and use of electric vehicles in the country. The president noted government's determination to contribute its quota to the fight against climate change.
Ghana's emissions are expected to rise from 28 million tons of CO2 equivalent in 2021 to some 140 million tons in 2050, with the transport sector accounting for the biggest increase. This will be driven mainly by population growth, increased GDP per capita, and vehicle ownership. I'm confident we can reverse this trend if significant actions are taken to transition with cleaner electric vehicles, promising to be game changers in this process.
The Minister for Transport, Kweku Ofori-Siama, on his part, gave some insight into the workings of the document.
Given that several institutions will be involved in implementing this policy, the Ministry will establish a unit to coordinate the policy implementation as well as collaborate with other sector representatives and institutions to address cross-cutting issues. A critical area requiring attention is manpower development, particularly for artisans and garages familiar with servicing ICE's vehicles. Ultimately, collaboration and partnership will be key in ensuring that the needed technical expertise are acquired to ensure a smooth transition.
The Minister for Energy, Matthew Opoku-Prempeh, also assured of his ministry's commitment to ensuring the success of the policy.
We are ready for the electric vehicle and e-mobility evolution. With an electricity access rate, Mr. President, of 88.85%, the future of electric vehicles on a national scale is possible. Thus, every region and district of the country should be able to participate in this budding industry.
Member of Parliament for Tema West, Carlos Ahenkra, has encouraged micro, small and medium-sized enterprises to familiarize themselves with the Ghana Enterprises Agency and the Ghana Exports Promotion Authority as they harbor export ambitions for the future. He said these institutions have been empowered by the state to help ready local startups and small enterprises for effective trade beyond the shores of Ghana.
For them to survive beyond an event like this, they need to speak to the experts, which is the GA. And GA, I believe, has a department that support the establishment and, of course, the enhancement of MSME programs. Beyond them, if anybody wants to also go beyond the shores of Ghana and export, the GPHA is the Ghana Export Promotion Authority, and they are ever ready, ever prepared to show you where to market your goods. Let's say you produce pepper from your garden, from your farm, and once you harvest, you don't even know where to market the pepper. You have to go to a publisher or somewhere where somebody will tell you how much they want to pay you. The Ghana Export Promotion Authority has that opportunity to identify, we call it matchmaking, to identify somebody outside who patronizes such products for you to be able to export your product. And this is the time that I will entreat people who produce Yagos here to speak to them and see how they can get it beyond the shores of Ghana and make more money from their production.
Carlos Ahenkra was speaking on the sidelines of the Made in Ghana Trade Fair, an exhibition of the Ghana Chamber of Commerce and Industry in Tema, where a number of micro, small and medium-sized enterprises were given the opportunity to showcase their Ghana-made products and services. It was done in collaboration with Media General and the Tema Metropolitan Assembly. The chairman of the Tema branch of the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Michael Kabute Caesar, on his part, detailed the initiatives his outfit is undertaking to encourage exports.
We are making that awareness to members, who have export intentions and steps to take to really taking advantage of this bigger market. Now, the challenges that the SMEs importantly have is few of certifications and things like that. So we have given them boxes to tick, for things they need to get them ready, themselves ready for, because you don't just jump onto export when you are not export ready. So we are gradually educating them through various forum and fora, workshop, as to what they ought to do in getting themselves ready to take advantage of this bigger market. Some we are directing even to go to export school organized by GPHA.
The Ghana Shippers Authority, in collaboration with the Bank of Ghana, has organized a sensitization workshop on the Bank of Ghana Letter of Commitment requirement for the repatriation of export proceeds. The letter of commitment is required before export shipments are approved to exit Ghana's ports and borders. Since its introduction in 2016, the letter of commitment requirement has generated tremendous interest mainly due to the sanctions associated with non-conformity as a result of the lack of awareness on the part of exporters. Speaking at the program, the Tema branch manager for the Ghana Shippers Authority, Monica Josiah, explained that the workshop was aimed at addressing the complaints and concerns of exporters and customs house agents with regards to the non-conformity.
We also want to use the documents that will come out of the sensitization workshop as a working document to help us. All the questions that have come up, we are going to look at them and see whether something could be done to make the LOC more friendly or better suited to the transactions of exporters.
The Deputy Director of Foreign Banking Operations at the Bank of Ghana, Eric Kweku Hammond, indicated that the letter of commitment requirement is not meant to stifle the business of exporters, but to ensure that export proceeds meant for the state are duly accounted for.
For Bank of Ghana, when it comes to our monitoring and then ensuring repatriation of the export proceeds, at our end on daily basis, we are also able to generate exports, from all exporters. So at any point in time, we know how much company A has exported.
The operations manager at Ghana Link Network Services, Lieutenant Bafor Insua, averred that ICOMS is committed to facilitating customs procedures for the exporters and took them through what is expected of them.
Without the LOC together with the customs declarations, you cannot send your goods abroad, whether by road, air or sea. Right, so first of all, you put your documents together because you need an invoice. Whatever item that you're shipping, you have to prepare an invoice for that. Okay, so you can also out of the invoice prepare a packing list because these are two documents that you need for your customs declaration processes.
The Ghana Ports and Harbours Authority has demonstrated over the years its human and technical capabilities in handling a wide range of cargo types for import, export, transit and transshipment. Earlier this week, the Port of Tema successfully turned around 7 train wagons received from Japan for some minor maintenance work and onward transshipment to the Democratic Republic of Congo. Deputy Logistics Manager at the Port of Tema, Engineer Prince AEC, indicated that the Port of Tema was selected because it was befitting of the operation. He said the port is ever ready to handle such unconventional cargo types.
If I should just try to recall, 2020 we handled a helicopter which was disassembled and also exported to, I think, was into the Australians. This year we did the same thing again. We did 2 helicopters at that was at Tema 2 that we also disassembled, we packaged and stored to Australia. And this time we are doing coaches at Transshipment. It's trying to tell us that we, with the expertise that we have, we are proof for any challenge that the client would like to put on us and also try to support their operations in the industry of shipping.
Country Manager for Omar Logistics Ghana, Samir Sheet, whose company served as the logistics agent for the shipment, said the decision to transship through the Port of Tema has paid off.
I've personally been through the entire hierarchy. We started with the Director of Port, the GM, the stevedore manager, the workshop manager, the engineering team, the stevedoring team. So a project of this magnitude requires everybody to be invested, and I think that's the word I can use. People doing their jobs is one thing, but also feeling invested in making the project a success. This is the feeling I got, and the support has been incredible from everybody involved.
The Port of Takoradi has donated assorted items towards ensuring a joyous Christmas celebration by pupils of the Special Needs School in Esipon in the Sekondi Takoradi metropolis. The items included bags of rice, gallons of cooking oil, cartons of chicken, beverages, biscuits, gari, sachet water, toilet tissue, and sanitary pads, among others. The donation forms part of GPHA's corporate social responsibilities 3 planks of education, health, and environment. The Marketing and Public Affairs Manager at the Port of Takoradi, Dr. Kingsley Enchiboziakon, recounted that the donation had become a tradition where the management and staff of the port would contribute their widow's mite to the pupils of the school at the end of the year to show their love for them.
Mr. Peter Amubediakon, any management, any staff of Port of Takoradi, like I said, ɛwɔ ɛgya ɛne ɔba ɛne sonson kronkron bi mu. Amen.
The head of the Twin Cities Special Needs School, Madam Crescentia Ifwa Bilson, who received the donation on behalf of the school's management, expressed their appreciation to the management and staff of GPHA. She pledged to use the items for the intended purpose of ensuring an inclusive and joyous Christmas for the school's special needs children. Let us now turn our attention to the global stage and pick a few international shipping and maritime related news. Japanese shipping company Mystery OSK Lines and UAE-based ports and logistics giant DP World have signed a memorandum of understanding to explore opportunities to enhance auto logistics capabilities at Jebel Ali Port and reduce carbon emissions in port and maritime applications in the UAE and beyond. As part of this agreement, the companies will conduct feasibility studies for business opportunities related to stocking, enhancing, and strategically redistributing fully assembled cars through Jebel Ali Port. The Maritime and Port Authority of Singapore, Port of Los Angeles, and Port of Long Beach have unveiled a partnership strategy for a green and digital shipping corridor across the Pacific Ocean. The partners reviewed their plans at the 28th United Nations Climate Change Conference on December 6. The release of the partnership strategy follows the signing of a memorandum of understanding by the Maritime and Port Authority of Singapore, Port of Los Angeles, and Port of Long Beach during the Singapore Maritime Week in April 2023. The MOU formalized the partnership, which is supported by C40 cities, with the aim of establishing a green and digital shipping corridor connecting the three global hub ports. It's now time for our Word of the Day segment, where we introduce words, phrases, jargons, terminologies that we often use in this industry so you can get familiar with them. Today, we will tell you what we mean by gantry crane. A gantry crane is a type of crane used to load and unload container ships. It lifts objects with a hoist and can move horizontally on a rail or pair of rails. Now let us take a look at the schedule of vessels that have berth in the ports of Tema and Takoradi and at the anchorages of both ports, as well as those expected in the coming weeks, plus the Bank of Ghana exchange rates, which you may need to know to clear your cargo with. This is where we close today's edition of Iron Pot. We hope you've been informed and educated. Remember, all Iron Pot content can be found on our YouTube channel, Iron Pot. Please subscribe, like, and give us feedback. Thank you for watching.